my name is Anushri from Corporate Citizen Magazine, and welcome to CC Conversations. And today we have with us Mr. Basumitra Chakraborty, Human Resource Business Partner, EPAM Systems. He has 12 years of experience in HR business partnering with organizations like Deloitte, Cognizant, and ICICI Group. He has an extensive experience in driving various talent initiatives and managing multiple stakeholders. Today, he will share his wealth of experience in the HR industry with us. Welcome to CC Conversations, sir.
Thank you, Corporate Citizens Magazine. Thank you.
Starting the first, can you share your journey in HR business partnering and the key lessons you have learned?
So I started HR business partnering almost in the beginning of my career, and I was fortunate to get exposed to at the very beginning of my career to an organization which had great HR practices or which was known for its culture. So at the very beginning of my career, I could learn, absorb a lot of things, practices from my initial stint, and gradually I moved on to other areas. Like I moved on to insurance industry, Indian market, then I moved on to US market, Australian markets, and then technology consulting, and then right now, for example, in software industries.
Yeah.
So overall, I had various industries that I had experience of, and yeah, it has been very enriching. The things that I learned in all of that, I think the key thing that highlights is that employee engagement or satisfaction is a moving target. So we're all human beings, and you at different points in our life we have different aspirations and different satisfaction points. Today, somebody might be very much motivated by a good compensation, but 2 years down the line, that person might want growth in the career.
Yeah.
That will be his or her motivation. Again, 5 years down the line might be something else, like a better work-life balance. So it is always a moving target. As HRs, as organizations, as leaders, they should always never neglect any of these areas and kind of keep on looking at which area is kind of falling back and pick it up and then address all of these areas together. So it's a whole basket of things.
So, what significant challenges you have faced in the HR business partnering field?
I think the biggest challenge that we face is how to be less of HR and more of frontline managers. What I mean is that when we do an HR initiative, right, if it is run, driven, and forefronted by HR, then you are failing. Okay, then it's not going the right way. You have to design it. You have to provide all the support from the back end, and you have to vanish from the scene. Okay, you have to be in the background, and you have to let the frontline managers do it. Accept those practices and run those practices for their people. If they are not doing it, then you are kind of failing somewhere, and that's a challenge. That's to get it on the ground is a challenge. The other challenge I can say is acceptance of DEI, in the sense true acceptance of diversity, equity, and inclusion. We talk about a lot, we do a lot of events and all, but is it being truly implemented on the ground for each and every associate? So that's another big challenge. I think these are the two.
How do you overcome them then?
Yeah, so as I said, right, we should design good processes first of all, processes which has checks and balances. And as HR, I'm not driving it, but I have to do the governance from the background. So it is my job to check that there are no individual cases that are falling apart. There are no individual requests that are not being respected, or if there is individual case that has come which is not in the right spirit, that has to be dealt right there, and it should not become a overall culture of the organization. It should not spread. So we should be the custodians of that, and we should convince our managers and line managers to drive the activities in the forefront. So that's how we can do it.
Sir, what initiatives or area you will focus in the coming years as an HR and as a business partner?
I think one of my close to heart initiatives has been leadership development. So I have always focused on upcoming leaders and how to bridge their gaps. So let's say individual interventions on them. Maybe if you and your colleagues are two upcoming leaders, you might have certain needs that requires to be met. Let's say giving you that support. Similarly, your colleague might have different needs. and also to do large scale interventions so that you become successful leaders. The other thing is also very close to my heart is on DEI initiatives. Let's say mentoring programs for women, making the workplace more acceptable
Yeah.
for all kinds of people. Let's say we talk a lot about physically
Challenged people.
physically challenged people and all of that, but are we really providing them a conducive environment to come and become successful? We can hire them just for the numbers, but when they come to the organization, do they have the right environment to be successful? So these kind of initiatives are close to my heart. The new thing that I have picked up is how we can integrate technology. Let's say we can leverage AI to resolve queries, to create better experience for our people.
Yeah.
So how we can integrate chatbots and AI into day-to-day activities of our people. So these are kind of the broad areas that I would like to focus in my next maybe one and a half year.
So talking about your career journey, how you landed up in the HR industry and in this management sector?
Okay, so I had basically done engineering graduation. During those times, obviously, my batch has had a lot of bright minds,
Yeah.
engineering minds. But one thing I realized is that uh, uh, engineering, technical things, more or less, people can do, but people management is very difficult. Not even the brightest of technical minds could get their head around the people management part. They were so overcome by emotions, how to handle people, how to do this, that. So I found it's complicated, it's interesting, and also I believe it requires a lot of gray matter, in the sense you have to be a thinking mind to deal with people. So there are a lot of frameworks, there are a lot of theories around that, but how do we implement that? And the last thing, I think in my beginning, in my engineering career, I also got exposed to motivation theories,
Yeah.
which kind of clicked with me. Yeah, like that relates to me, to my to our practical knowledge as well, practical experience, the motivation theory, and that's where I decided that okay, I'll take up HR course, and then I gradually did more research and landed up in HR.
Sir, can you like describe a successful management initiative that you led in your career?
Yeah, so for last one and a half year, we led a program for women, and it was a women mentoring program, and it was not for all the women there. Okay,
Yeah.
so what we did is that we identified some women who were not, let's say, progressing in their career, were not going to the next level,
Okay.
but they're doing good in their current layer. They're getting good ratings. Feedback is always good, but they're not somehow going to the next level. So we wanted to know, because if a person stays at a certain level for a long time, being successful, then it's a red flag for us, because then the person might leave at some point in time because they'll be dissatisfied. So we tried to focus on them, and then we did a lot of one-on-one connects with them, tried to understand what is holding them back. So we understood a lot of reasons are there. Let's say family responsibilities. Let's say how the career will look like when, if they get promoted, how it will look like, job insecurity, or some are not getting enough support. They have tried, but they did not get good mentorship, good guidance, and they left it there. So a lot of things, reasons we found out, and then we addressed those. And after that, it was a batch of around like 25 women associates, and at least I think 4 to 5 of them got promoted, and we could retain all of them. So that's the good part. They have stayed with us, and 5 of them got promoted, and others are working on the promotions. So I think that's a initiative that recently I have done, and which is like I feel very good about it, because
Yeah.
we could make some difference.
Sir, what's your work-life balance mantra?
Work-life balance. See, if we love our job, then we don't really have to think about work-life balance, because uh, then you are happy, right? If you're loving your job, and if you're also okay satisfied with your family, kind of you don't have any big issues, then you are more or less happy person. Then you can manage. So the first thing is that align your work with your purpose. I think if we can do that, a lot of our problems get solved. Otherwise, we'll be always pulled. This is my work.
Yeah.
This is my home, and like I have to balance that kind of headache. If you don't love your job, but if you are aligning with your purpose, with your passion, then it becomes easier. Other than that, winding up, like I do have, I value my passions, which I had as a child. Let's say I do a bit of acting, I do a bit of singing. So all of that I continue in my personal space. Plus my family. I have a small kid who kind of keeps me engaged. So that's how it keeps on
So, do
balancing.
you feel that like companies, big companies like Deloitte, Cognizant, have changed you as a person in the HR, in your industry?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, as I mentioned, right, I started my career with Deloitte, and it has had a huge impact because I joined there as a fresher, and I learned a lot of things because they are one of the great companies, and you absorb, see, you see them and absorb a lot of things from them, like a lot of good practices. So it has definitely changed me as a person in my personal space, always also in my professional space. Similarly, Cognizant is a very big organization.
Yeah.
How do they run such a big organization, big operations, and big initiatives? And it had extremely good leaders there. So I think yeah, a lot of learning from those both of those organizations.
So, what's the best piece of advice that you have ever got and that changed you as a person or in the professional manner?
I think be the best piece of advice would be like be hungry, and as I mentioned, to align your purpose with your profession. Like I'm in HR, but what I really wanted to do, what is my passion? So align my role with that, and if we can do that, then the rest of the things are very easy for us.
Thank you so much, sir.